Hey, it's your girl Mel with Shop Talk. Today's topic was autism. A stands for autism in my household. Today's guest was Miss Tion. She came on board and shared her story today. It was very good, very enlightening. And if you would like to hear the show, you can feel free to do so at blogtalkradio.com black backslash I'm talking about black slash talk about that what's his name again? I can't Lee Daniels. See what I'm saying? We'll get into that a little bit later. See how that works? Backslash shop talk with mail, blogtalkradio.com backslash shop talk with mail. And we're talking autism. You have a daughter that was diagnosed with autism.
Correct.
And she was first diagnosed at what age?
Between 3 and 5.
3 and 5 years old. How did you know that she was different?
Not meeting milestones.
Milestones such as?
Not sitting up, not crawling, not holding bottles, not doing anything that most babies do at between ages, 7 months, 8 months.
Okay, so you actually had an advantage because you were already a mother.
Correct.
So for those first-time moms out there that may experience some of the same, issues that you've experienced, can you give them some things to look for?
It would be definitely paying attention to your child, making sure you're noticing things. You have to be open, because a lot of times people don't want to say, my child's different. So you just got to be open to the experience. Know your child, pay attention. Just make sure that you're talking to your doctors. Make sure that if you have questions, ask them.
Okay, give us some symptoms of autism.
Child not looking you in your face, antisocial very much, not doing physical things that they should be able to do, not being able to sit up, crawl, walk, talk, babble.
Things that society, quote unquote, say is normal.
Correct.
Okay, now you said she was diagnosed early on. How old is she now?
She's 15.
15 years old. Okay, then. So what do you think being a parent for both of you guys, going into the future, where do you see her future?
I think things will be bright for T. I feel like this thing doesn't have her. She has it. She's going to be able to live a life that most people would probably think that she's not. But I see God as being God, and He has last say. So therefore, school's been great. School's getting better. Her grades are increasing. At one point, she was a straight C student. This year, I've seen A's and B's. She's beginning to do things. She's beginning to initiate conversation. She uses a calculator to do math.
Awesome. At 15.
Yeah, and there is a actual video on my Facebook of her doing that. I actually, one morning doing homework, I decided to tape her. Awesome work.
Yeah. Okay, now the doctors told you she would not be able to speak. What else did they tell you?
She wouldn't be able to speak or comprehend.
And she's doing E, all of the above.
You got it.
That is awesome. Now you said school. How hard was it for school? To get her in school? Is she in a special school? Is she in regular school?
She's in regular school, but she's in a special class.
Okay. Now, when you say special class, is there a class specifically for autism, or is it?
She's in a autistic classroom.
Okay, which is, explain to us who don't know the difference between an autistic classroom versus your special ed classroom.
I did not want her in a classroom where there were multiple things going on. I think it's very important with autism. Everything is repetition. That is how they stay the course. Just everything has to be done a certain way. So to have her in a classroom that may have 5 other disabilities in it, I don't think that would be conducive to learning. I think it would be kind of confusing.
Yeah, it'd be confusing for me, period.
Right. Too much going on. So the class that she's in is geared specifically. And I think it's working. She's getting speech therapy.
Okay, the school offers that?
Correct.
Is that in the public school systems, or is it a special school?
She goes to public school here.
Oh, awesome. And this is in the state of Ohio?
That is correct.
Oh, awesome.
She has occupational therapy as well.
The public school systems offer occupational therapy?
Yes.
Now I'm gonna swing this over to you, Ron. I'm being having your master's in health and human services.
Yeah. And I just
How
did this
how
today.
you like how I did
you came
that,
up too
right?
deep. I'm like,
Yeah.
But,
Having that and just speaking just as far as in that field, when you have a mother of an autistic child and coming to you, not speaking for the school system or anything like that, but just in the field that you're in, health and human services, how important is it for family involvement or parental involvement? Because if they don't tell you and they decide, okay, well, I'm just going to enroll my child, how important is that? If you can explain.
Let's look at it like this. Whenever you have the first educator is the parent. The parent is always going to be the most educated person about the child. They're gonna know that. There's things that she knows about autism that I will never know. You know what I mean? So she's the expert in that field. So with her like telling us like this is how it is to interact with my child. This is where she best benefits. These are things that she likes. These are things she doesn't like. This is the conditions that are best suitable for her. That is so paramount to us because without us having her experience from pregnancy to 15 to give us that information, we can make an environment that's going to be conducive for her learning or for any child's learning. You know what I mean? And so that parent piece, that them knowing, when parents like, I know if my child did that, that doesn't sound like my child. That's real talk because they know their children. But with us having that information, it helps. So that's not that goes beyond a degree. That's that's on the hands experience. That with our degree, with the staff's degree and their specialties they may have, that combination of the two make the environment great. And her pushing that envelope, if you will, her saying, hey, her as in the mom, the Tia here, saying, I'm involved with this. I want to be involved with this. You're going to know my name. We're going to have these conversations. That whenever you have that personal professional relationship in this matter, because it's personal from her perspective because it's her child, but it becomes professional because she is indeed part of that team. And when you're building at the IEP, her input is definitely needed. You can't go into that meeting and be a passenger in the sense. You have to view yourself as an active part of that conversation because what comes from the parent is going to be the key that gives the professionals their like sort of marching orders in a sense because now they know the life experiences of that child and how they can best incorporate those things to make the experience really good. So
wouldn't it be nice if they understood the life of every child?
Well, that's where that parent involvement piece comes into. That's like my child was a really good student, but I was at every parent teacher conference.
And I was at every parent teacher conference. I don't know if I had to say reports.
but the point I'm saying is that like you ever go into a grocery store? It's kind of like Cheers.
Okay.
When the people
everybody
know there, you go in there, they're like, Norm drinking beer. So I think when people get to know, when they know you, it's a more enriching experience.
Okay.
So have your face be seen, your presence felt.
Good. You hear that, parents? Have your face be seen. No, that's good because it's really important. And I don't think a lot of parents understand, especially your working parents, your working single parents, and they're working all the time.
Yeah. And parent involvement is changing. Like we have like this program called Progress Book where it's supposed to work like this. Teachers, administrators, whoever can put things on there. Parents can interact that way and go on there and check it out. So it's kind of like like social media sort of approach this only for your child. So like we have to realize that hey, people work 12-hour shifts now. Usually it's during the day sometimes and all this kind of thing. So we got to use different techniques to connect with families than just like the traditional meeting. Now, traditional meeting is needed in cases, of course, because you need signatures, permission, and you really want to make sure there's understanding. But if I drop a line, a teacher like, hey, I just want to know how Bob doing. How you doing? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know.
And that's it.
That's it. You know.
Now back to TT, which is your daughter. How does your other children? How has it affected them by having a sister that was diagnosed with autism?
I like to think my kids are more aware than other kids. They have a want to, when they see other kids that are different from themselves, they're more mindful. And I think that's great, because think about when we were in school. When we were in school, kids who were different kind of sat in the back of the class and we didn't pay them no attention, you know, or if they were in classes with us or they were walking down the hall, we just kind of, they were just there. And I think it's a little different. Even I have a 10-year-old who like advocates for kids who are slightly different. She goes to school and if she sees, there's one little boy she tells me about all the time. Oh my goodness, I hear about this child so much, I think I know him. But it's like, mommy, people are picking on him and she doesn't like it and she intervenes.
You know what? We have evolved so much as a people. And the reason I say that because I remember back in the day where you had, let's say, Uncle Pete in the back room or upstairs, and if he had special needs, it was like a back room. You hear somebody hollering from the back, you'd be like, who is that? Right. And all the little kids be like, who is that? Don't go back there. Girl, come on now. We know, let's keep it 100. You be like, who is that back there? Oh, I'm scared to go back there. You know what I mean? And then, or in the basement. So it went from the basement to the back room to upstairs. Uncle Pete, I say, on Soul Food. If you watch Soul Food, they just slid the food. So I'm like, Uncle Pete finally came out the room. Until now, it's more accepted and into the schools. Now, you're right. I remember like I said, the special needs class, and it used to be, you know, across the hall or whatever, and you look and you knew who was in there. But every time I remember, I ain't even gonna lie to you, they was throwing erasers. And I was like, oh, that looked fun. Every time I go to the bathroom, they having a good time. They having a party every time you turn around. It was like, oh, they got suckers, they got candy, they got cake today. Whose birthday is it? Right. That would be me. I am that person. That's probably why my kids the way they are. I'm looking, I was like, oh, look at them. They throwing erasers and chalk. And, you know. But, and then once in a while, you saw the teacher get up and shut the door, then you heard the yelling.
Because it got real.
Right. So is that why you say, okay, we need to pretty much segregate the type of needs, the classrooms for the type of needs. So where autism, okay, this is specifically toward autism versus someone that may have just a learning disability.
I do.
I can see what's can you imagine them erasers?
It's okay to mainstream. Okay, but with moderation. I think it gets a little confusing for the children. It gets a little confusing for the teacher. I think it's just easier overall to make sure that what the child is needing, they're getting without all the extra. That's the best way that I can put it. I don't mean like hide these children out, of course. No. That's why I say mainstreaming, because what it is right now.
You can't really mainstream anybody for that matter.
No, you can't. It's too difficult. It's too much. So to kind of break it down a little bit.
It's like the old, and even teaching now will have to be different. I'm thinking about remember the old football games, the electronic board, and you put it on there and you like, okay, you go here, you line your little man up and you turn on in whole board shape. That's throwback. That's way throwback. I'm talking like 82, 81, 82. And the men go wherever they want to go and you like, that is not what I'm trying to do.
Right.
So, you know what I'm talking about? That throwback.
That was a great example.
Yeah, like who came up with this game?
Right?
Hey, but no one ever had like the instructions. I never.
No, there was never instructions to it. I don't remember instructions. But it didn't. It just turned it on. It was like, the whole football field move. The little people just like shake it, and you hope they knock somebody over. I didn't understand that either. But I look at that because I remember seeing my cousins playing. I was like, that's stupid. And then they all be sitting around there. I'm like, you have like no control here.
Yeah.
So when I think of, you saying mainstreaming, I'm like, everybody doing whatever they want to do. And you might, if you get one to fall over, boom, you lucked out.
Right.
And that's where I was at with that. Hey, that took you back, didn't it? You was like, dang, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know. Run. But anyway, what I was trying to say is everyone learns differently, be it quote unquote normal child versus a child with a disability, period.
Correct.
So it's just like you said, parental involvement is the key. If you want to know more about autism, there are so many different websites. The one that I like is metrokids.com, and it tell you the services and support. If you have a child that you feel as though may be different or not moving at the rate that the doctors state that the child should be moving at, please, ask somebody. And don't take no for an answer. Tion, you said that the doctor, when you first brought it up, they said something on the order of her being slightly delayed and other different diagnoses.
It was a developmental delay, and then it was pervasive developmental disorder.
Okay. And they didn't know what it was too much, and then they found out later on that it was autism. There is no rhyme or reason to autism. 1 in 110 children are diagnosed with autism. You did make a statement, I don't know if this is on air, but during the commercial break, you said that she had fell back on the shots, and you thinking maybe all the shots could have possibly done it. Hindsight 2020.
It's a possibility.
So, with that being said, this is just me, and I'm not a parent of an autistic child, but I'm a parent of 2 children. And don't blame yourself. God has a way of giving you exactly what you need. And I like the term special needs because that's a special child. And see, that's my place. And that's my heart. I love my clients. Look, I love my little clients. Shout out to Gateways. I'm always go ahead and give them a shout out. Gateways Better Living. But I wanted you to take the time to tell us about the documentary on TT.
Yes.
So if you want to know a little bit more about TT and meet her or look at her and know who we're talking about, you can do so by.
You can go to speaklife.com. I just want to check it to make sure.
See it? Look.
I got a cheat sheet. Yes, it's speaklifetv.com. And the producer is Lavetta Jenkins from She Busy Productions. And it just kind of gives you a day in the life of Tiandra and everything that we've encountered and gone through. And we get into some personal conversations where, because Lavetta is a friend of mine, so there's a lot of documentary air. There's pieces in there where she and I are talking over the phone, and I'm pouring out my heart because of things that I'm going through with Tiandra. And she did an awesome job, and it just gives you an idea of who TT is, and it's called Defining TT, and it's awesome. Check it out.
All right. Hey, I did start talking about that Lee Daniels. We are not gonna stay on this all day, but do you think, alleged, you heard it right here, alleged. Lee Daniels was having a conversation with, that's the creator of the Empire. Do you think that there will be controversy? I'm not even gonna say controversy. Do you think that he was wrong stating that he wants Black writers for a Black cast? What's your thoughts on that real quick?
I just think if it's not broke, don't fix it. Leave it like it is. The show was awesome this season. Let's just go ahead. Whoever wrote it the first time, keep
the same team. What you think?
I never watched the show.
The Black guy never watched that show.
Yeah. But I just kind of feel that in Hollywood there is a shortage of Black talent in all areas. So I think his comments were probably taken out of context, but I you know, I didn't hear what he said. I don't know what he said, but it sounds like something that was kind of taken out of context.
I have it for you next week. That's
that's all.
alleged. But see, that's the oversensitive USA. I'm like, it's just everybody just so you can have a basic conversation, somebody will take it and run with it. The only problem is, see, before was just he said, she said. Oh, you know, so and so said this. Now you got social media, so you're like, no, you did say that, and then they can put it all out, so it can make or break you. So please use your social media. Just use it responsibly, if that's safe to say. Hey, listen, if you want more of this topic, feel free to visit us at blogtalkradio.com/Shop Talk with Mel. Visit our website, shoptalkwithmel.com. Thank you so much, Tion, for coming on to talk about autism. And April, and thank you, Ron, for coming on with your expertise. We love him, Shop Talk crew. We got to keep him somewhere around here. And Ian is over there in the cut, chomping on that bubble gum, but we ain't gonna worry about that either. Okay. April is Autism Awareness Month, so with hopes that you all will become aware of this disorder, even if it's not in April. That's why we did the show. That was our goal. You think we accomplished it?
I think we did.
Hey, I like it. Hey, it's your girl Mel with Shop Talk. And remember, it's okay to be you. Shop Talk, baby.